So many people say to themselves, I can't wait to retire because then I can do what I want to do. But what if you could actually turn your passion into a path where you are actually doing what you love right now? And that's what we're going to be talking about on today's Speak and Get What You Want podcast with the great Alicia Santos. Alicia, so great to be with you.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to be with you. Thank you for the opportunity. I've seen your podcast before. I think it's super fun. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Alicia, you're in Puerto Rico
Yep.
and you decided that, you know what, I want to turn what I'm really passionate
Mhm.
about into what I do for work. Talk to me a little bit about what that process was like, where you're like, okay, I'm going to do
Yeah,
this.
of course, of course. I've been back and forth between corporate and projects. I'm a serial entrepreneur at heart. I love starting, creating. Like it gets me super excited. My background is all advertising, journalism, production, everything related to the communications, world. And I've always wanted to have a place where I can write, share my views and what I like, and share it with people like-minded people, right? So I
Okay, so
think,
wait, so let me interrupt you real quickly, Alicia. So
yeah,
you got you speak fantastic English, and so you grew up in Puerto Rico,
yeah,
but you did your schooling in the United States.
correct. I grew up in Humacao, which is a beach town on the east of Puerto Rico, but I did my bachelor's degree in Syracuse University and my master's in FIU in Florida, Miami.
Wow. Okay, so you've got a master's degree, you've got all this education,
Yeah.
and yet you're like, I'm an entrepreneur at heart.
And hustling.
I love it. Okay,
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
going. This is
yeah.
fantastic.
I used to live in I live in Miami and Colorado as well. I moved back to Puerto Rico in 2021.
Oh wow. Okay.
I just why not? Let's do COVID in Puerto Rico. That was a bold move. I did it the first 6 months. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? It now I'm like, you know what? This is cool. My family's here. My daughter is closer to the grandparents. I met the love of my life when I came back here, so that's pretty cool too. And I was like, I'm like, I like to work for myself, and I like to connect with people. I would love to connect with people. I enjoy it, right? I like good conversations and good food, wine, coffee, right? And then we saw this model about, by the way, the La Isla Flow, which is what we do, started as a newsletter, not with video, no Instagram, no YouTube. I have a newsletter that goes out every single week. That's how La Isla Flow was born, as a local
Wow.
newsletter for lifestyle events, good music, like-minded people, to tell them what to do over the weekends, because there's no one place that you can find absolutely everything. And you cannot find, like, there's a coffee party or there's a market or there is a festival. There's no one place that you can find that. I'm like, you know what? I can do that. There's a great business model in the States. Let's replicate it in Puerto Rico and let's start it. And July 27th, 2024, right? 2024, 2025? Yeah, 2024, the first newsletter was out. 400,
Wow.
400 subscribers. Now we have 13,000 subscribers, 65% open rate. People love it. And we combine that with social, with events, videos, and food. And our goal was to tell like-minded people that love, traveling and sit down and have like good music, but also good food, what to do. Basically, that's how it started.
Okay, so I love that you share that origin story because the reality is the greatest businesses in the world have all solved a problem that people have. And so you're sitting there in Puerto Rico and you go, okay, there's a problem here. And I'm actually going to solve it.
Yeah.
And you just what gave you the courage to just say, I'm going to go do this? Because Alicia, there are so many people who sit back and go, I should do this, and then they talk themselves out of it. So what was it about you that said, I'm going to actually do this?
I have to tell you, like, I have, the entrepreneurs have like notebooks of like a million ideas, right? And then it's like, oh, but it's not perfect, and the timing, and what if, and what about the Puerto Rico market is a little different, etc. And I have to say, on this case, my partner pushed me. He's also an entrepreneur. He has businesses all online, affiliated marketing. He's like, you know what? If this works in the States, it has to work here, and there's a need. So he literally like pushed me to like send that little like send button on that July 27th. And he pushed me that, we can do this. Let's do this. So the idea came, we actually were going to start with a national one, like a cleaning tips one, super cool in the States. And they were like, no, 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 let's go local. Let's just attend our community, right? So the idea was there, everything was there. I was like fidgeting with the newsletter. I'm like, oh my God, it's perfect. It's not. I'm writing about my life and about my story of my name. And then he's like, you know what? If we don't send it, it's not going to happen. And that was it. It
Okay,
wasn't.
but that's the key. That is so important, and we talk about this on previous shows as well. Surrounding yourself with
Yes.
great people, and when you surround yourself, because you could have easily had someone say, "Oh no, Alicia,
Yep.
that's not going to work. Don't try it. Why do that?" And you would have never gotten to where you are today. And so you have to surround yourself with
Yes.
people that push you to even think bigger. I
And
love
elevate you and contribute and believe in you, and they're doing even greater things than you, that you're like, oh my God, these people can be my mentor and push me to be, greater every day. Even my family still say like, are you sure you don't want to find a job, 8 to 5? And I'm like, no, this is working. It's only a year and a half. I have 100,000 followers combined. I have brands looking for us. I've been able to sell the newsletter. This is working. It's working. Just, it takes time. It takes time. And you just need to be there. And I've cried. Trust me. I've cried. I'm like, I don't want to send the newsletter. I'm tired. Why don't people get it? All of that has gone through my mind. But I'm like, I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting. This is happening, and it's gonna evolve, and it's gonna get even better every day. That's like that's how I do it every day. And my daughter is like, are you gonna be in the computer all the time? I'm like, believe me, when this grows even more, I don't have to be in the computer that much.
right?
you know
You have that vision,
yeah.
and I love that you point out family sometimes can be the hardest, right?
God,
Family
trust me, yes.
family can be like, what are you doing? You have a master's degree, you've done all these things, and
You could be a
you're like,
lawyer. Yeah.
but surrounding those people that you
Yeah.
get to choose. Family you don't always get to choose, but
Yeah.
that surrounding yourself with the people you choose to
Yeah.
be around, they will help you get to where you need to be.
And I believe
And
in collaboration. Like, I think if you grow, I grow. And that's the people I want in my life. I want people that I want them to grow, but they want me to grow so we can leverage and we can actually grow together. You know?
right? Well, and because Alicia, it's that balance between, so many people have that scarcity mindset
Yeah.
that, oh no, something bad's going to happen. They live that way so that they don't get disappointed, right? But the reality is there's abundance. There's so much opportunity. You get to live whatever kind of life you want to live. And
Yes.
I love that you've chosen to do that. But you did say this, as you are living this abundant life, as you're saying there is so much opportunity out there, there's been plenty of tears.
Yeah.
So, how have you balanced between the tears and being driven by your vision? How do you
Um,
balance that?
I would say focus on the end goal, right?
Mm,
Patience,
mm,
like patience, because sometimes you want everything to like just go. And obviously I have a perfectionism issue, and it's like, oh, it's not good enough to go. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Um, and this is a parenthesis, right? With the not good enough. I used to do the videos for events, CapCut, perfect. I published one. I didn't have a microphone. It was just pushing Instagram. It got double the views. Just for an example, that it doesn't have to be perfect, people. It doesn't. So, and the fear, the fear hits me sometimes. It's like, and I start comparing myself to other content creators, right?
mm.
Or what they're doing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not. I saw this content creator that I really liked. She said, like, the worst thing you can do is to start scrolling and see what other people are doing. There is market for absolutely everyone. Everyone can have a niche. Everyone can make it. You just focus on being genuine, yourself, a goal in mind, be consistent and have discipline, right? I just get tired because I want to move faster, or, oh, I really
Right.
want to be in the tourism, I want to be the person that tourism chooses for events and what to do around the island, right? How do I get there? How do I navigate that? And then I stop, but then I go again. So I would say patience, perseverance, consistency. And if you cry, it's okay. Let it out. I'll let it out. I'll cry and I'm like, I'm tired and all that stuff. But then I just put myself together and I do it anyways, by the way. I could be crying, finishing the newsletter, and I send it anyways. Let me tell you.
Oh, that is great. Okay, but you mentioned two. You shared a lot of gold there, but I want to just emphasize two things you
Yeah.
pointed out. The first one is your vision of what this is going to be is so clear in your mind that even when you're crying, you know where you're hiking to, you know where you're driving to, you know your destination,
Yeah.
and that is so critically important because Alicia, so many people don't, and then when it gets hard
Yeah.
they end up quitting because they don't have that destination
Yes.
clearly in their mind.
Yes.
This episode is brought to you by 10 Days to Create Clarity, a breakthrough course inside the Speak and Get What You Want Academy. If you've ever craved more meaning, more momentum, but not knowing where to start, well, you're not alone. The problem isn't motivation, it's clarity. These 10 days give you exactly that. Simple direction, real confidence, and clear next steps. You know exactly what you want, make decisions without second guessing, go from drifting to taking action, and align your life with what actually matters. And you'll feel a real shift fast. If you're tired of scrolling, stuck, or waiting for life to make sense, stop waiting. Join the Speak and Get What You Want Academy and start the 10 Days to Create Clarity course today. Go to speakandgetwhatyouwant.com. And then the second thing you really mentioned that I want you to unpack a little bit further as to how
Yeah.
you got over it. This one thing stops so many people, Alicia, and that is trying to be perfect, right? They want everything to look perfect. And so people, when they take that jump and they want to go do something great, what stops them so often from making that jump is, oh, it's not perfect. What are people going to say? They're embarrassed. Oh no, how they have all those thoughts come into their mind. Alicia, how did you push those aside? How did you say in your mind, that's okay. I'm going to go do this, even though it may not be perfect.
A lot of Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins, Jay Shetty. No, I'm just, yeah, it's part of it. It's part of it. That physiology, movement, snap out of it.
Well, no, but wait, what you said there's critical because what you filled your mind with was
Yes.
people that were pushing you. You know,
Yeah.
you only one of my least favorite phrases, Alicia, is
Yeah.
110% because
Yeah.
you can only give 100%. You
Yeah.
can't do 110%.
Yeah.
So you only have 100% of time, and you've chosen to fill that with positivity. You've chosen to fill it with people that can help you get where you need to be and not stop you.
I
So
think
that
there's,
was one.
yeah.
Go ahead, please.
I think there are like two things. One is like, you're not gonna, not everybody's gonna like you, and that's fine, right? Everybody has personality. That's why some people do some stuff, and there's where some people do other stuff, right? I don't
Okay,
think
but
that.
Alicia, that's hard. That's hard because
Yes,
everyone wants to be liked.
100%. I want to be like 100%, and I think I'm super cool. I'm like, why are people? Why am I not chosen? I should be
I
the
love,
person, right?
right?
And I
Right?
have all these credentials, and I am so good at this. But then you know what? There's people that put themselves even more out there. So this is something I might. Okay, there were two things. So it was not everybody's gonna like you, right? And that's
Okay.
fine. And that's fine. Mistakes are okay because you are writing, you are sharing, completely fine because people are looking for value and connection. So maybe if you switch an S for an C or an accent was missed or the editing was completely perfect, doesn't matter because people are connecting with you and what you're sharing and it adds value for them. So,
Mm.
understanding that is really important. Also being kind to yourself and not that hard. You know how many times I finish something and I post and I'm like, oh, I should have, I could have, it could, that type of stuff, which kills you. Like, the should have and could have, not bueno, not good. And my father always told me, they're super smart people, right? But maybe they don't push themselves, too much, or they don't put themselves. There's not that many smart people, but they do such a great job putting themselves out there and just doing that. Maybe they thrive more, right? So there's like a combination of being okay with making mistakes, being kind to yourself, and putting yourself out there regardless, right? regardless. So I think there.
Okay, so that, I mean, what you said, the last thing you said, putting yourself out there,
Yeah.
really ties into the first thing you said, Alicia, when you
Mhm.
said you have to be okay with people not liking you, right? And so when you put yourself out there, you are saying, hey, it's okay if you don't like me.
Yeah.
Here's who I am. This is what I'm going to do. And there's a lot of people that are really going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
And so that's really really powerful. But Alicia, what would you tell yourself
Mhm.
when you are just go back a couple of years and say, I don't want to put myself out there. I'm too afraid. What would you say to your younger self to get you to do that more?
First of all, you wasted too much time. Like I don't know what you were thinking. Like you wasted time. You overthought it, and you put yourself out there, and you're fine, right?
Mm.
Completely fine. And for me, it's interesting because I've always wanted to do this. I wanted to be a broadcast journalist. Actually, that's why I went to Newhouse
Really?
School because Newhouse School is the number one broadcast journalism school in the states. That's why
Okay.
went there, and and I did ads, I was a model, I was super like, skinny, fit, this, that, etc. Then I'm 40 and I'm like, not that, right? But I'm more confident and I'm like, you know what? Doesn't matter, right? So I would say um stop overthinking. Like the overthinking kills you.
Mm.
Um and don't waste time because like I want to tell people eventually when I completely set the age doesn't matter, and then stop wasting time on overthinking. I think that's what it is, and I want to tell a story about how to make it after 40. Like why not, right?
That is phenomenal. I love that, Alicia, because there are so many people that are reinventing themselves
Yeah.
after 40. Okay. So you think about in your 20s and 30s, you're lots of people are trying to figure it all out and they get
Yeah.
to 40. And I love that you use that phrase, stop overthinking. Just stop overthinking everything and just go and do it. And I love that everything that you've done in your life, Alicia, has built upon itself to get you where you are right now. And so you're like, I went to school and I thought I was going to be a broadcast journalist. Well,
Yeah.
guess what, Alicia? That's what you are now, and it's everything's kind of built
Yeah.
upon it.
Yeah.
And so quit overthinking it and saying to
Yeah.
yourself, oh, I wasted time here or I wasted time there. No, all those things can build upon themselves to help get you to where you need to be.
100%. A hundred
Oh,
percent.
okay, but Alicia, have you always been good have you been guilty of overthinking?
100%.
How did you overcome that?
That's a great question. I think doing it anyways, even if I'm overthinking it or I have fear, pushing myself to even with the fear or overthinking it, do it anyways. Like pushing myself to do it anyways. Do it anyways because then I look back and I'm like, how am I gonna get to where I want to get if I get paralyzed by like overthinking and fear? So
Mm.
even if I have those feelings, I push myself to do it, and then because action, right? Like all these things are overcome with action. Then that action helps you little by little, getting those like overthinking and fear going away, away, away. And when they come back, you just keep doing it anyway. So you can tell yourself, you can do this regardless, basically.
I love that. That is so good. One word that
Mm.
everyone needs to really put in their mind. The one word, Alicia, that you just said there. How did you overcome overthinking?
Mhm.
Action.
Action.
You went and did it. I love that. And so anyone listening, if they're sitting there going, "Wow, I see Alicia's success," you need to follow Alicia because, by the way, um, success leaves clues, as we know.
Yeah.
Watch what she's doing, and be inspired by her success, especially that word that she just said, which was action.
Yeah.
She hit send, even though she was like, "Oh no, maybe this isn't perfect."
Yeah. I'm
That-
very small, very tiny, by the way. Yeah.
And Alicia, look at the success you're having because of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But do you find yourself still, even it's a battle you have to fight all the time of overthinking?
I would like to say that I don't have to fight it, but I do fight it.
Mm,
I do fight it. I do fight it. Not as often though. It's less. It's better. I trust myself more. I have more confidence. I know how to reroute my thinking and how to interrupt my, my thinking. Sometimes when I go on that route of like, I know how to like stop it and just, I always tell myself like, let the thoughts just go through like a wave, like a wind, and they just go away and they just keep going, right? Do not hold
wow.
on to them. Do not hold on to those like thoughts because they're thoughts, you know?
Right.
They're thoughts. So I think the consistency and the just doing, and just acknowledging that are just thoughts and that I'm going to feel better when I do it because it's part of the plan and what I want to do. I just keep going.
Well, Alicia, I love what you said there, though, because you're saying, I asked you, I said, Alicia, do you still struggle with overthinking? And you go, I do, but I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And then the very first thing you mentioned there that I think everyone needs to really listen to is you recognize
Yeah.
when you're having those overthinking thoughts. You recognize, okay, wait, I'm overthinking here. It's time for me to take action.
And it's
That,
like for example, I'm used to it, right? Because I work in advertising agencies and stuff. I'm used to like have the idea. I'm great at presentations. I can sell you anything. I'm great at concepts and strategy. But I've never really designed because I have someone to tell them, gave them a
mm,
brief, and the person will design it. Right now, I do everything. It takes me weeks sometimes just to hit like Canva and do this, and then when I do it, I'm like, oh, this wasn't that hard. It's like I say he, like his name is Justin, right? He's like, if I'm anxious or don't know how to do it, but you do it, you'll see how easy. And another beautiful thing is like a thing that took you a month. I'm trying like to start it. You finish it in half an hour because you just needed to start doing it. That's it.
mm,
Like literally, you do it and you're like, oh, I took a month to think about this and I did it in half an hour. This is crazy, right? So
right.
I guess it's just like if you start, because action is the most important thing, instead with your anxiety and insecurity, then you discover that maybe you can manage it very well. If not, you too better ask for help and then keep going, right?
Yes, so good. So good, Alicia, because you mentioned anxiety, you mentioned insecurities.
Yeah.
All of those things can be cured by taking action. And so everyone has all of the thoughts that you just shared. And that's why, Alicia, that's why you're so relatable. That's why so many people follow you, because you are also vulnerable in the sense of you're like, I don't have it all figured out, but guess what? I'm taking action.
Yeah.
And because you're taking action, look at the incredible things that are happening.
Yep. Yep.
And I love that you want to inspire so many people. And that's really, and maybe I shouldn't put words in your mouth, but is that really what fuels you? Is
Yes.
just seeing other people happy?
I want to see other people happy. I want to be useful to other people. I want people to
Mm,
connect and relate to me too. And for me, this is just the top of it's just like a little tiny top because this is like Isla Flow, right? And we do events and we do food. But eventually, I would like to tell my story too. And I would like to teach people how to make newsletters because you can actually translate your passion into video or written documents that people love and they open it because they want to hear about it and they want to hear about you. So there's a lot more. There's a lot more to do with this project. But I think like when I show my Instagram, for example, to people, and I say I've only been doing it for a year and a half, like yeah, you have almost 50,000 followers in a year and a half, girl. That took me like 3 years. So now I'm like,
right,
oh, so maybe people do like it, right?
right.
And then you have a balance between your audience that you want and what you like and what people like. So you do like a combination of the two, right? So
That's fantastic. So you are driven by the vision of
yeah,
creating connection with people.
100%.
But then, and I don't want to get ahead of you though, Alicia, but I see down the road you teaching other people how to do that as well, right?
Yeah.
That
Yes.
is awesome because you're at heart, well, at the heart of all you do is connection. And so you want to connect people, but you also want to help people create that connection.
100%. Yeah.
And that is powerful. So Alicia, what's the best way? Someone are like, okay, Chad, I hear what you're saying. I want to follow Alicia so that I can see what she's doing to be successful
Yeah.
and create connection. What's the best way for people to follow you?
La Isla Flow PR in Instagram. I think that's the best way. La Isla Flow PR, or an email, Alicia at laislaflow.com. No problem. And then they can also go to laislaflow.com and subscribe to the newsletter as well. But definitely Instagram, follow me, message me. I will answer back 100%.
Oh, that is fantastic. I love your goal of connecting people, but I also, even more so, love your desire to help other people come and combat the things that are holding them back.
That's the goal.
Because Alicia, what you've taught us today, what you've shared today about surrounding yourself with the right people, not overthinking things. And the thing that I actually love the most is that word that just changes everything for people, and that is taking action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Follow Alicia Santos. She's amazing.
Thank
Wow,
you.
what an incredible individual you are. I
Thank
love
you.
your drive. I love your purpose and love what you're doing, Alicia.
Thank you very, very much for having me. You're super fun to talk to. I like this. I enjoy this.
Well, you're fantastic. Love all the content you shared. Have a wonderful day. Great
Thank you.
being with you. Take care. Bye
Take
now.
care. Bye bye.